Which job is a lot less fun than most people expect? Video game tester. You aren't spending your time playing completed, fully realized games. You are playing the same level of a game over and over, seeing if there are bugs. Archaeologist. Did it during my 20s and that was more than enough. Long, hot days. Living out of cheap motels on shit pay, and you typically find nothing more than some pieces of glass and broken pottery. Every once in a blue moon you find something cool, but those items generally end up getting stored away in a box full of other artifacts never to be seen again. I went to George Washington's boyhood home near Fredericksburg, VA, where they were sifting through dirt. I was a tourist by myself, and watched them dig from a distance, nothing amazing. What did amaze me though was the amount of people that asked what you diggin' for. I ended up asking the intern how many people ask that, and she said too many to count, sir. I felt so bad. A friend was doing some sort of biological survey on Alcatraz Island in San Francisco. They were in the off-limits zone, but it was clear they were doing some sort of monitoring due to their gadgets, yet all day every day it was people asking, why do you get to go down there, what are you doing? For 2 straight weeks. After reading through this thread for 20 minutes, I've concluded that every job sucks. I think doing anything for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week would probably get tiresome. After working in 2 to 3 hour blocks interspersed with home cooking, walks, naps, and little tasks around the house these last few months, I'm having a hard time accepting that I'll probably have to endure 5 consecutive 8-hour days again. Let's all collectively refuse to go back to that 9 to 5 schedule. What are they going to do, fire us all? Seriously though, I'm not ready to go back to switching between work and exhaustion with no time to focus on anything else. Even my weekends are just errands and chores. I've been taking classes, working out, cooking, and I haven't been this stress-free since I was a kid. Zookeeper. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome to be around so many amazing animals and care for them. But the smells are ridiculously, insanely foul. I have a really strong stomach and it's still tough for me. We've had some interns quit over it. I was warned about the smells when getting into the field, but thought, oh, I've volunteered at animal shelters, I know what animal stink smells like. Nope. Not even close. Which smell the worst? Are there any that don't? Vultures. Their puke can melt metal and repels lions. It is hands down the worst thing I have ever experienced in my 30+ years on the planet. There are just no words to describe the pure molten hot rotting diaper stench that is vulture vomit. Penguins. Fishy oily birds stink. They're cute though, so they get a pass. Anteaters with diarrhea, insect-based watery shits are horrid. I was hoping someone would say penguins. I volunteered at a zoo for a while and was not prepared for how bad the penguin exhibit smelled behind the scenes. They are adorable though. I mostly did office work, so I never got to enjoy any other zoo stank. Apparently lucky me. Accounting isn't the adrenaline rush that most people think it is. But the glamour. The perks. The respect. The debits. The credits. The assets. The liabilities. The owner's equity. The amortization and depreciation. The interest calculation. Demolition. Everyone wants to break shit with a sledgehammer. Everyone is tired of lifting that sledgehammer by 5 swings. Nobody wants to load the broken stuff into bags or a wheelbarrow and take it to the dumpster. I did a 2-week demo job years ago where I had to jackhammer, 75 pounds at least, a concrete slab and grind rebar into pieces. I'm in good shape and that job ducked me up. I always say the more fun it is to go somewhere, the worse it is to work there, like amusement parks and arcades. Honestly, every job that lots and lots of people really want to do sucks, mostly due to supply and demand. You're gonna be treated like shit, and if you complain you're gonna be fired because you're inherently replaceable, because there's thousands of people that would love to do your job for even less money than you are making. I tried to explain this to my father when I was going to accept a bartending job at minimum wage. He said I should demand at least 15 hours, and I told him they would laugh me out of the bar and find some college student willing to work for less than minimum wage. The fact I would be getting minimum wage was because I knew the bartenders and the owner, so I would have started out at a higher position than just entry level. I didn't want to bartend. It was a guaranteed job with people I knew right after I graduated. It was more than I had otherwise, and I was easily replaceable for cheaper. Lawyer. No, it isn't like they show on TV. Hey, finally case is before the judge, crap the other party didn't show up. Next date that judge has given is 3 months away. And that's just litigation. As Tom Hanks once said, it's like doing homework for a living. Ada for the pedantic types, which it shouldn't surprise me, being lawyers and all. It was an interview many years ago and he was asked what career he would hate to have if wasn't an actor. It stuck with me because it rang true. Oh my god, except when you hand your homework and they make corrections and suggestions and give it back to make it better, and again till it's an A in school you can just hand in some shit and be like, well that's a B. Moving on. Hiking and backpacking guide, worrying for others the whole time takes the fun away. I went on a glacier hike when I was in Iceland and the guide seemed genuinely shocked and thrilled that my girlfriend and I were the only 2 people on his tour that day, and we had actually spent more than 5 minutes outdoors and were appropriately dressed. He said usually he had fairly large groups of tourists who typically had practically no outdoor experience and even less experience with cold weather. He said people often showed up in flip-flops even though the instructions clearly said to wear sturdy hiking shoes. He also said the groups typically move extremely slowly and he never gets to take people up onto the part with the best views and cleanest looking ice. He actually seemed really relieved we wanted to go further up and were making great time, like it was a treat for him. He was very knowledgeable and seemed so excited to talk about the stuff he knew, and I got the impression he usually spent more time babysitting than actually sharing that knowledge. I have seen this question before and then it was Zookeeper at the top comment too. Nice. Anyways, there's this Making of Frozen 2 mini docu. Most animators work weeks for a minute of animation of one character, if not less. At one point they decided to leave out a piece that one person had solely been working on. Must be crappy to be part of the credits without being able to say this is my part. I couldn't believe it. It was even crazier to me when Sterling K. Brown recorded an entire song and it got scrapped. It's insane how much ends up on the cutting room floor for a movie to be just right. I was so psyched for the animator that did that end scene for Into the Unknown though. She killed it. I'm a marine biologist. I spent the last week measuring defrosted fish heads. The sea was angry that day. Working in a music store, musical instruments, your days are spent listening to 50 different people play 50 different riffs poorly simultaneously, as if they're all putting on their own concert. Baker. Coming into work at 34 a.m. so you can have a 6 m baked goods is miserable. Lifeguarding. Everyone expects Baywatch, act, saving lives all the time. But it's usually just sitting there blowing your whistle telling little shits to stop ducking around. Being a character performer at Disney. Don't get me wrong, there are some amazing perks and truly magical moments. I know I'm super lucky and tons of people would love to be in my shoes. But the day-to-day work is exhausting in ways I never thought possible. Guests are ridiculously abusive, I've had things said and done to me I never would have imagined. The company isn't always great, it highly depends on your leadership. And Therese so much focus on your body and face, good and bad, that it can be incredibly depressing and difficult emotionally. Plus, you have to accept that Therese very little upward mobility. Most people grow out of it and it's rough to know that one day you'll get too old or too fat and you will have to start all over in a new career field. So you constantly are thinking either 1, what you're going to do when you leave, 2, how you're going to keep yourself there. I personally knew it would be temporary, and I now only work there seasonally while I have a normal career. But Disney has a way of sucking you in. Edit, hey, I first award. Thank you so much, smile. A long time ago the local schools would have grad night at Disneyland. One year a group of rowdy boys decided they would beat up Mickey Mouse. Not only were they total assholes, but Mickey Mouse was a girl that night. The school got banned from Disney for 10 years. I had someone try to give me a piggyback ride when I was Pooh Bear, fell right on his face. Good thing he is stuffed with fluffies cause I didn't feel a thing. Fun fact. Like 98% of Mickeys are girls, it's difficult to find guys 50 and under. Game master at an escape room. It's the same repetitive script, resetting the same stuff, giving clues and hints about the same things. The patrons are often competitive families who argue, obnoxious impatient 13-year-olds, college students who have been drinking, idiots who break shit and touch shit that I specifically told them not to. They never remember your initial instructions. If something gets broken during one group, you have to hurry and fix it before the next group. My cousin used to work at an escape room and let me, my sister, and a few of our other cousins come in during off hours. Apparently it was the most entertained he'd ever been as game master for the escape room, largely because A, he got to see just how stupid his cousins are, B, he got to see us turn on each other at multiple points, and C, he could say whatever the hell he wanted because it was family, so he didn't have to stick to the same script. Apparently it was frustrating watching us for those first 20 minutes doing nothing and pointing at random shit saying, "Is this a clue?" "No, it's not, idiot, stop pointing that out." He was laughing way too hard when we finally got out.